in the APAC Cup.
Here we go. This is the first match. A lot of pressure now on the line. Mo Long and Fire Bison pre-ban coming out. It is going to be taking away some of those consistency picks for each players.
And Sierra will therefore be secured by Oseru on the right side. Etawaru now responding with his own picks. Will we go with something more standard? It is a best of 5, so you have to consider the multiple layers. If you show your hands a little bit too early, you start to get countered right away in the coming game. So Etawaru now considering. He's had to show a lot already so far today. Okay, the Jaeger wasn't banned, so this time he picks it right away in the first round of picks.
Definitely a super strong pick for Etawaru, and now we are seeing Oseru unfazed by the meta today, sticking to some of the picks that have worked out for him previously. The Escher and Daphnis making a return.
The Daphnis, again, a very popular pick here for Group D. I mean, we've seen it to some extent in the other groups as well, and when it works, right? It's super explosive, but when it doesn't, it's really just got that one chance.
Right, so today we have seen that instance where Daphnis didn't work, so Daphnis definitely has some makeup to do, cleaning up his image and reputation. Etawaru coming in now with the Juno.
Okay, another kind of seemingly early Juno, it seems.
But
not really
I trust
targeted.
him,
You
though,
trust
it's
him?
Etawaru.
Okay, I like it. And then pairing it with a Molly as well. 3 light monsters already here for Etawaru. Now Oseru, it's going, oh, the Lulu actually makes it all the way to the end here and gets picked up by Oseru alongside the Kaki.
So now we are seeing a very balanced draft out of Oseru. He's got the damage, he's got the sustain where he needs it. Now, if you're Etawaru, you got 2 units with great sustain. You certainly don't need a third one. You have to bring in another threat because Juno alone is not sufficient.
Listen, Peter, in Group D, I think you always want more sustain is what these players have told us so far.
Oh, that is that threat.
Okay, huge threat. Diana gets last picked here. 24 wins so far in the APAC preliminaries here for SWC 2021. And despite the craziness that Diana can bring, it is still going to be that Jaeger that Oseru is concerned about gets banned out. And then the Daphnis also gets eliminated by Etawaru. This is game number 1 in a best of 5 to determine who will move on to the APAC Cup.
This is what I meant about Juno becoming the only threat had Etawaru not picked Diana, because Jaeger was going to be the likely banned option. So now with 2 threats, we're going to be seeing how Etawaru strikes back. Of course, the first turn, he's going to have to survive from the Kaki and Sierra.
Yeah, just trying to hold on tight. As you mentioned, already has 2 sustain. If you can make sure you get through these first turns, you can try to set things up for the rest of your team.
You know what's interesting, Chobra, is that actually the Lulu is coming out to be a horrible, not a horrible, but not so useful pick this game, because her skill 3 will just allow Juno and Diana to shine even more. That's why we see Oseru saving that skill a lot more. Sierra with the Fate of Destruction not able to get the killing blow, obviously, even if he detonates without an attack buff. So that is why he is going to let this bomb slide.
Yep, just going to keep that on top of Molly, and now Diana going for that first turn this time around, goes for the Pew Pew.
Huge damage with the Pew Pew, bringing the Sierra down. Of course, Juno is there for the follow-up damage. Now, Sierra sitting at about 40% HP. The question is, at this point, Diana, what more can you show us?
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see. I mean, Fran looks like she's ready to set up for that attack buff.
Right, the attack buff is definitely what you should be doing. There's no other moves that make sense. Fran with the extra turn, she can try to set up the Diana by hitting Sierra even more, or even going for the attack break on Kaki, really making sure to utilize those debuffs.
Wow, just really covering all bases right now from Etawaru already in this game 1 in the best of 5.
So there's a stun out of Diana, which is going to be very important, because if you're Etawaru, you don't want the opponent Sierra to be cycling like that.
Okay, so Sierra does pop out of...
Juno, attack buff! Oh!
Oh, so close! But here comes the big heal from Lulu. And now the buffs on top of everyone as well.
This is gonna hurt. Massacre with the defense break, but the Molly heal is here to save the day. Another one! A heal for the Diana. Now Sierra doesn't have the Fate of Destruction angle anymore. She can land it, but there's not gonna be a kill.
Oh, this seems like a true case of both sides just missing
so
slight damage.
What is wrong
and
with this Diana?
Diana secures another turn off of that stun, comes out of the bomb, and is ready to finish the job that she couldn't before against the Sierra.
And that is Sierra down at this point. the Kaki is the one and only unit left for Oseru, but Etowaru's Juno is built different, doing so much damage and even a stun from Wind.
Everything going in favor of Etowaru right now. Already a numbers advantage as well. And as you mentioned, so much damage already available from this Juno. I mean, against the Kaki, already bringing it down quite low.
Oh man, if you are a fan of the Kaki, you usually want to be seeing the defense breaks so that he can follow up with damage in the turns coming afterwards. But now, at this point, Kaki is once again on the run for his life.
Yeah, there's the attack break as well, just making sure to keep this Kaki at bay just in case it is able to survive through. But lots of heal. I mean, this is Lulu. Lots of heals still available.
Lulu trying to buy time right now for the Kaki, and she is doing just that. Of course, Diana, despite being such a strong unit, she does not pose much of a threat to Kaki because she cannot go for the pew-pew onto him. So Diana's going to be locking down a different unit now.
Okay, what's the target? It's going to be the Escher this time around.
So much damage. Instantly chunked down to half HP. Kaki, this is your one. Another chance, but no!
Still no defense break. Not able to get that nuke damage that you can get from the Kaki every now and then. So not working out for Oseru right now, and Etowaru still sitting comfortably in the lead. Gets another attack buff from Fran.
Etowaru was considering there, do I go for the kill or do I go for protect? But he's got both. He's got the kill and the protect. Now at this point, it is harder than ever for Kaki to try to get a kill onto the Diana. Yep, a smart play coming out of Etowaru, does not take the risk.
Okay, finally just calms down with the Diana, goes for the shield, plays it a bit more passive, doesn't want to give that small window over to the Kaki, as you're just relying on this Juno now to finish the job for Etowaru. The heal still pumping out.
Juno! That is going to be 6,000, and Diana can just go for skill 1 onto Kaki with the crit!
Oh, that is huge! Critting against the fire on Imusha right there, and that will secure the Game 1 victory for Etowaru as he leads 1-0 in this best of 5.
Etowaru continuing on the Diana dominance. This unit is just popping off today, and I am not surprised.
Yeah, Diana, I mean, we've seen it have so much success already, but a lot of times it was just that stability that that monster was able to bring out. But today, Etowaru really showing the explosive peaks that this monster can have in some of these matches. And now Oseru starts to have to consider, I mean, do I do something about this Diana during the draft?
I think that is the name of the day today, Chobra. You have to figure out a way to deal with the Diana. What I don't understand is previously, people were so great at dealing with Diana, bringing in the Entourist, making sure she doesn't transform uncontested, bringing Vertihal, bringing so much fire, but we are not seeing that today, and it is getting punished.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, we've seen these instant turnarounds whenever you saw the Diana, and then, I mean, sure, the Diana still provided some value with the shields and, you know, the kind of momentous pew-pews every now and then, but not to this extent. So right now, if you're Oseru, you gotta be prepared for the possibility that the Diana still sneaks through at the end, as we're already deep into this draft for game number 2.
Of course, due to the pre-ban, Etowaru doesn't have the Jaeger anymore, so he is going to have to adapt now into a different team comp. This is a very popular variation of the turn 2 team so far. And now Oseru throwing in his gloves, looking at the Lauren and Vertihal. This combo can be explosive, but there's a big downside as well.
Yeah, we've seen this combo pop up a couple times yesterday here in Group D, and while the theory was always there, they weren't able to get that lockdown they needed. And if you don't have this other, you know, set of CC to really complement that, it seems to struggle sometimes if you're not starting off correctly.
And now Etowaru bringing back the Diana because it has worked out so fantastically. Has no worry picking that up at the end there with the Molly.
Okay, well this time Oseru has the Vertihal. Do you pick another monster to really just try to counter out this Diana, or Oseru maybe already considering the ban card, but that does leave all the other monsters open, of course.
Wow, I was gonna say Kaki sounds decent, but Kali sounds even more explosive. So the difference between Kaki and Kali is that while Kaki is consistent, Kali has a higher high and also a lower low.
Okay, so a bit of a more high risk, high reward here for Oseru, but he feels that it's time to do that. I mean, it is a best of 5, so you're not out just yet if you lose this game, but if you're able to tie it up, that swings the momentum in your favor. Now waiting for the bans in game 2 of this best of 5 in the losers final. Sierra and Mulan will be the bans this is for that last spot to make it to the APAC Cup. Etowaru, of course, desperately wanting to keep the lead in this final match.
The plan for yuensw is to snipe out the Diana as soon as possible, utilizing the Lauren Vert Kali Fran combo. But the only problem is, with the Molly there is always a bit of a risk with landing your crits and your debuff. So the question is, how well will yuensw's combo work out in round 1?
yuensw, do you have it all ready to go, ready to set up, and will it pull through against this Diana? The spotlight is on that combination on the other side of the board. Right now we see the immunity being set up by the Lulu, and now Molly looking for something to do here in turn 1.
I would shield the Diana because you know that Diana's going to be the one that yuensw is going to be focusing down. And now it is time for Lauren to try to strip, and he's prioritizing more so onto the Cardinal, which I do like. I love it because Cardinal is going to be much more of a threat this game.
Okay, so prioritizing the more consistent threat here from Cardinal. And now Fran with the attack setup here for Kali.
So if he goes for Tectonic Shift now, it's not going to kill. So going for God of Fire is going to buy Kali that window of opportunity to find that better spot, the timing to go for it.
Okay, so just waiting for the right opportunity. As you mentioned it, Peter, a bit more high risk, high reward here for yuensw, so not taking any unnecessary risks as we see Lauren trying to keep control of the game for yuensw.
So right now, Lauren went for Diana despite having immunity, and he's continuing that because he's setting up the Kali 57,000.
Tectonic Shift, there it is. We talked about a window, we talked about a higher peak, and Kali delivers here in game 2. yuensw now feeling much more comfortable in this game.
Such smart plays coming out of yuensw. Now, with that double fire, he knew that Diana's so much less of a threat. Taking out Cardinal means now truly Etowaru is left there with just the Diana. And you look at the attack bars, you have Lauren Vertihouse constantly cycling. This Diana's not going to get a turn anytime soon.
yuensw seems to have the reins here in control for game 2. Everything really working out after he set it up so carefully in the beginning of the game. The damage starting to come through and more control against this Diana. They do not want to see the Diana ever get a turn.
Kali has all her skills up and Etowaru knows it. yuensw, such smart plays, clean plays all around, and he strikes back.
Strikes back in game 2, indeed, takes the win and ties it up 1-1. And I love what you mentioned, Peter, that he went for this higher risk but higher reward play, and then he played so carefully around it within the game that he's able to tie it up and bring the momentum back.
That was one of the most, big instances of where you get to see Molly. She's not very reliable with the glancing passive. I feel like it really hasn't kicked in at all throughout that match, and yuensw felt real good there with his fire combo.
Okay, well, now Etowaru now has to start considering that the Diana not always a surefire way to bring it back. Of course, Etowaru was leading 1-0, so not too big of a loss, but you have to start changing things up. This is what happens when we have a best of 5. Pre-bans now return to Molong and Fire and Bison, and now we're kicking things off the same way we did with game number 1.
Both yuensw and Etowaru, they were both not too confident coming into Group D preliminaries, and here they are now, the underdogs. I love underdogs always, and I'm rooting on both of them, so I really want to see some smart draft, smart plays coming out in this third match.
I just love that this is really giving us an opportunity to see such different styles and different sides of play, especially here in Group D, but all throughout the APAC preliminaries. Every group really providing a different platter of a meta here for all of us watching the SWC 2021 regional preliminaries. Now, Escher and Daphnis, also the same picks as we saw in game 1 for yuensw, so no changes just yet.
Seems definitely like we see yuensw, he is not phased at all by round 1. He is sticking to his game plan, and of course, Etowaru, when you're the one that won that round 1, you may as well bring in the same draft.
Yeah, so the Juno and Molly again. You gotta imagine yuensw does something differently here, though, because if you just rinse repeat, going right into game 1, that seems a bit risky, even despite discounting the potential wild card of the Diana. So this time, looks like he wants to get a little bit more insurance for the potential.
Birdhowl. And it is going to be the Kaki. So
Okay.
the last time Etowaru finished this lineup with Diana, right? But this time, because Oseru brought so much fire, it is definitely not advised to bring in that Diana last pick. We are looking for a water element unit.
That would do a lot of damage against Oseru's composition right now. Etowaru, what is in your monster box? Which will it be? It's going to be Annabelle being the last pick here for Etowaru.
Fantastic last pick. I love it. Annabelle's so scary that honestly, we might see Annabelle getting banned out by Oseru, and he agrees.
Yep, there we go. Right away, the Annabelle is out. The Daphnis gets banned once again against Oseru.
So there's the strip setup from the Escher for the Sierra. There's the attack bar from Vertihal. We might see Oseru going for the one-shot onto Jaeger here. If he gets it, it's going to be big.
Okay.
So there's the setup. Noble agreement. Getting that additional turn is what he wants because he needs all the damage he can take. There's the armor break. Now, Sierra, you have to land it.
Oh, he lands the bomb, and that is exactly what you called, Peter. You wanted that perfect setup for the one-shot into the Jaeger, and Etowaru's beloved Jaeger falls before the battle even begins.
And when the shining star falls down, at this point, it is all up to Juno for the damage. We've seen what artifacts can do for these oracles, especially as time goes on. So Etowaru now praying for the timer to go by, while Oseru trying to snipe another unit as soon as he can.
Yeah, it sure has a little bit of sustain from both supporting monsters, but right now, we're going to see if Oseru can really combat that timer. A lot of damage done onto the Vertihal, but still many other threats to consider. And Etowaru, like you said, just trying to stay alive.
Staying alive, he is doing that fantastically, and Etowaru is going to be able to get the killing angle down onto the Vertihal. It is going to help him now get to that late game a lot smoother.
Yeah, that is a pretty big difference coming into the middle part of this game. This is game 3 in a best of 5. The winner takes the lead, but they're not done just yet as we continue to see some setups for a potential another one-shot here from Oseru.
Looking for an armor break, but it gets resisted. It doesn't matter anyways because it was on the second hit. Now Sierra wants to be cycling. She wants another bomb. She's a turn away.
Okay, gets through. A lot of damage done as well. Cycling through, waiting for that second bomb.
And she's got it next turn. So now Fran has to come in with the immunity to buy more time, but she is still sitting 2 turns away. So definitely looking scary for Etowaru right now. He needs like a triple stun out of Juno.
Triple stun. That's a high order here for Juno. We'll see what she can do. Doesn't even get the single one down onto the Kaki. This time the bomb onto the Juno and goes for the detonate right away.
The selection and the proc to follow up with more damage. Blade Slaughter.
My, the perfect sequence of events here for Oseru. Everything going his way, and Kaki finishes the job. And now it's a 3v1 against the lonely Fran. And this really all goes back to how this game 3 started, looking to burst down that Jaeger. Oseru now takes the lead 2-1 in the losers finals.
Oseru showing us why he was the final boss today of Group D. This man absolutely knows how to play around Diana, brought in that triple fire, and once his opponent brought in the Annabelle, he made the correct ban, he had the right strategy, Jaeger boom, and then the game is boom.
It really feels like Oseru is playing very, very calculated today. I mean, he showed us some good plays yesterday, but then against Matsu, he seemed a little helpless, but now he's really redeemed himself here in the losers finals. He's playing around everything he's seen from Etowaru so far, and then even within the game, like you said, Peter, he's correctly identifying the perfect setup for his own team. Now Oseru on match point. If he wins this, he will move on to the APAC Cup. His first journey here in SWC will continue in SWC 2021 as he makes it deep into the Regional Cup. We see the pre-bans coming out. It's Escher this time being banned out by Etowaru, and then the Jaeger returns as a pre-ban from Oseru.
Definitely one of those surprising adaptation pre-bans coming out. Etowaru recognizing that this Escher has provided so much of that first turn battery for Oseru. So now at this point, we have to watch how Oseru tries to lock in the more advantage Diana.
Okay. Takes away the Diana this time. I mean, very early as well. Etowaru, how do you respond to this?
Etowaru hasn't been known for taking too many fires so far, but he sure loves his Juno, so I wouldn't be too surprised to see Juno coming out as one of the 2 last picks from Etowaru. Oh!
No way.
Oseru getting the same read as me right now. The Juno is here to counter the Fran's skill 3. The Triana is there for the backup to make sure that Sierra and Kaki doesn't go too crazy.
This seems like Oseru has a good read on Etowaru, and this is the moment that Etowaru needs to prove that he came here for a reason, that he wants to be able to battle through a best of 5, that this is what best of 5s are for, to adapt from game to game. And we finally see it. We've seen it so many times in the other groups, and the Antares now being considered here for Etowaru. And the Jogun on top.
So we see the triple fire strategy coming out now against Diana, the ever so popular strategy. Of course, Jogun is a bit weird, but he can lock out the Diana, make sure that she's not even a variable to deal with in the first place. Daphnis now coming in is going to be very strong at contesting some of these immunities, so it gets banned out.
Okay, and then the Jogun gets banned out, perhaps just not wanting to deal with that aspect of completely getting locked out rather than trying to combat through this Antares. So we see Oseru just eliminating the Jogun, and now the board is set. Oseru on match point. He wins this game. He moves on and secures that last spot into the APAC Cup here for SWC 2021.
So we have the attack buff on the side of Etowaru. He's got the explosive damage, while Oseru's trying to protect. The Diana's going to be pretty much a shield bot throughout this whole game, giving the protection over to the allies, while Mo Long and Juno are going to have to do the heavy lifting, and Oseru should be targeting the Antares first.
Okay, so Oseru, can he get rid of that Antares and really open things up for the Diana as well? So far, a decent amount of damage stun onto the Sierra as well from the Mo Long.
Definitely, this Antares is looking a bit shaky already in turn number 1 because his HP dropped so low. It doesn't seem to be a very tanky Antares.
Yeah, and shields and heals coming out from the side of Oseru. Sierra doesn't have an angle, just goes for the skill 1.
Tried to stun the Fran. That's exactly the right move for Oseru. It seems that Oseru didn't realize the Antares would be this squishy, because had he gone for Reckless Assault, he could have killed Antares by now, but really you can't blame him because usually Antarases are more tanky.
Yeah, you don't want to take that risk blind.
Wow, the Juno coming in clutch. The Strips now turning every immunity and the attack buff into dots.
This is massive now. There's
Reckless
timers.
Assault!
And there it is, correctly identifying that the Antares is squishier than you would usually expect. And now with the Antares gone, the board has opened up so much more for Oseru as he inches forward towards the APAC Cup.
That was such a bad timing for Antares to proc with his passive, because he couldn't have survived if Fran gave him the heal, but he just got the turn. Now Etowaru sitting 3v4, and another concern is Sierra and Kaki. They are kept on a leash by the Triana.
The Triana, of course, really serving as that insurance here for Oseru. I mean, Etowaru is now the one trying to fight uphill as we see Oseru just now quietly calculating how to go through. Massive damage onto the Mo Long from the bomb, though.
Right, so that bomb came in big time for Etowaru, because if Mo Long got a Dragon Stance off there, that would have been really scary. Now we have Sierra with the bomb, but she cannot get a kill with the bomb because of Triana's passive, which is why he is switching focus now, attempting to bring Triana down. Also lock her down with a stun.
Okay, so gets
Oh
the
my
detonation.
God! Wait a minute! I see the comeback angle if Sierra keeps this up, because multi-hits are Triana's weakness. Now Diana looking to try to secure the kill. This will not be enough, however.
Okay, not enough. Can Juno finish the job? Not enough yet again.
This is scary now. This is very scary, because Fran doesn't have a heal. And of course, Oseru wants the Fran to not be healing.
Triana comes back out of the stun and gets her revenge against the Sierra. Now a 4v2 advantage for Oseru. We saw that comeback window, but it closed immediately.
That was a game-winning proc, honestly, Chobra, because Sierra had a bomb. She could have landed it onto the Triana, go for the detonate, and it would have done beautiful AoE damage, and Etowaru could have had the game, but actually he still has it. Kaki with the healing on the skill 1.
Oh, not able to vamp enough off of it, and that is just Fran left. And Oseru, he started this game beautifully once again. He gets the read onto the Antares after the first poke, and Oseru will win. He secures the last spot going to the APAC Cup here for SWC 2021.
We crown a new champion today.